In those 4 months, we lost almost everything. We lost our home, almost all of our stuff, all of my clothes. But we got to walk out of there with our daughter. So I'm going to take everything I have and start over. I'm Josh Auer.
I'm Jerad Atherton.
And we are Chapters.
I had fallen into a little bit of a routine of playing it safe. I felt like I just needed to try stuff that I hadn't tried before. And so I have a harmonica mic and recorded acoustic guitar with it. This stuff just happened, this progression, this guitar part. And then I did a bunch of vocals through the bullet mic, through my guitar pedal board.
You didn't spend a lot of time on it. You just kind of...
No. This was just really fast, quick, easy. And then I've got this little toy xylophone glockenspiel. I set that up, played it through the bullet mic. Then once it was recorded in there, then I started reversing it, pitching it, chopping it. And the acoustic guitar, I hit some individual notes and I pitched that down 2 octaves and then putting a bunch of plugins on it sounds.
That's funny. I didn't know that about the acoustic.
Yeah. And so those reverse sounds are acoustic, pitched 2 octaves down, reversed, and then so add a bunch of reverb to it. You put reverb on something, then you reverse it, and then you put reverb on that. And I held on to it for a weekend, and I sent it to you Monday, and was kind of embarrassed about it, and thought, for sure this isn't anything. And then you were excited about it.
How you didn't realize that was just ridiculous is mind-blowing to me. Because it's so catchy right off the top, and it's so interesting. So for me, it's like all new sounds, you're singing. This is a total departure from what we do, but totally feels like Chapters. And I just got super amped. But what really got me was that there were 2 totally different sections. When I heard the second section, I was like, whoa, this could be its own thing. And we can build this up to be something super epic. I knew immediately what this song had to be.
I was handing you scraps. I had no idea how to make heads or tails of it, so very relieved.
I take your scraps and I build a house, man.
Yeah.
I think you were expecting me to just re-record everything.
Yeah.
And I loved the way your voice sounded on it. And so I wrote you back pretty immediately. I was like, hey, give me all 3 of those, re-sing all of them, and just get really good takes of them.
Right.
Which you did. And like maybe, an hour later, I had the full intro done. What I did immediately was, I have an old Martin. That's an old acoustic guitar. Once I got the whole song kind of mapped out, I just went and played along, and it started taking shape really fast. And I did the same thing, not knowing that you had done all the octave stuff. I tracked what would be the bass with that same acoustic and just dropped it down and distorted it, and is what ultimately became the bass on those sections. It is just an acoustic guitar.
You track cello.
Actually, I had my friend Tony Terusa come in and lay down a bunch of stuff. He had to go to work, and so I somehow convinced him to leave his cello with me, which is probably a bad idea. I put a bunch of tape on it and made marks. It's so funny. But I was able to get
Where are the frets on this?
Yeah, exactly. So I ended up being able to at least track that section. And so that's a bunch of me playing. It just feels like we're in a living room or something.
When you sent me that first lyric and that verse...
Yeah, you're a fan of a good first lyric.
Yeah, and right there it is.
Tossed in like a castaway, what we wanted, not what we thought we wanted.
Dude, that was it for me.
Tossed in, you couldn't see it coming, what we needed, not what we thought we needed.
I didn't want this section to be perfect either. It's not real tuned, and, I did 1 or 2 takes of it, and I kept my favorite take.
You've got a great way of writing melodies where you go somewhere that I just don't totally expect. And you do that different ways, but this, for one, I just wouldn't have finished that phrase that way melodically, not what we thought we needed, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's such a great lyric, and I instantly just fell in love with it. And then you punch me in the face with this first chorus when that dropped in.
Don't give up, don't give in.
It's kind of a call and response. You know, it's telling a story, and then you've got this section where now others are invited into it.
Yeah.
Know? And there's no lead vocal on that. There's no like center vocal on that section.
Then you bring in extra guitars wide as well in this section, and joining into my guitar.
Yeah. And that's that old Martin I was talking about. You can hear the rust falling off my fingers. I share a studio space with Dan Bailey, drum extraordinaire, and he has all of these really cool old school drums. And I'll just sit there and kind of lightly tap on things. And yeah, so that's just me with my hand, just kind of barely tapping this thing. But it sounds so different, so cool.
Little steady pulse.
It's what we needed, not what we thought we needed.
Oh my gosh.
This reminds me of Phil Collins. That's 3 or 4 different things, and I just walked around the room and found different drums and things to hit. It's all played live. It's not programmed or anything.
Give up, won't give in. Take everything we have.
But this right here, this section right here is what drew me to the song originally.
Totally different tempo now.
And I didn't want to have Tony come back and track strings because I was just feeling lazy. So I just slowed them down.
You played that stuff, right?
No, that's all Tony.
Oh. That's cello.
Yeah. But I just distorted it and threw it an octave lower.
That is the greatest sound
in the history of sound.
In the history of sounds. The great thing about it too, and this was from the very beginning, first time I heard it, that sound comes in right as you say tidal wave. I mean, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm. I sent this song to our buddy Taylor Johnson, who plays guitar, and he added some real beautiful elements to it. This and then this section coming up with the main melody that hits.
It's one of my favorite guitar sounds in the whole thing. Yeah, Taylor's a real hack.
With enough editing, you can make anyone sound good.
Yeah, exactly. Poor guy. I mean, it's sad.
He'll get there someday.
If he keeps at it.
You just keep working, buddy.
Yeah, his sounds are insane. And that was just the perfect thing. In fact, on the alt version, we stretched out that whole section, and there's even more real estate for those parts there.
Mm-hmm. So this is all acoustic guitar.
How nasty is that?
That's all that same guitar, just now dirtied up a bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. I think it's going through the Boss Punkifier pedal I have.
Trent Reznor, Atticus they'd be real proud of this.
They'd approve of this.
Dude, that is messed up.
But that section just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And then you had to go all Goonies on me with this line.
So funny. I build this thing out. I think it's all cool. And you're like, yeah.
It is cool.
It's
Goonies
like, sounds like Goonies,
No,
man.
actually what I said was, yeah, dude, this sounds like Goonies. I was stoked. I wasn't bummed. Dude, you can't see him like talking to Willie.
How frightening is this?
Okay, so this is what I sound like when I play cello. No, I'm serious. So this is me. You could just take this stem and play it at Halloween and just scare the crap out of your family.
Yeah. That's something right there.
This actually came on accident. I was trying to play that lead section. It was so squawky and squeaky, and Once I was playing along to this section, I was like, it actually, some of the squeaks and stuff really sound cool. So I put a bunch of delay on it and just played along 3 or 4 times. And it just adds this whole just tense texture to it.
Right.
It only pops in here and there.
Here's more of that percussion.
Lots of vocals again. Typical chapters.
Yeah. You should distort that next time.
Yeah, maybe I will.
That just makes me so happy.
And then
Distorted acoustic.
And then, of course, you know, if you're going to build it up to drop out, then you have to hit them strong, right?
That's right.
This section is way more messed up than it actually sounds.
Oh, yeah.
Those guitars that you did,
Okay, so this is me playing my electric guitar with a violin bow.
that is painful.
And then adding even more overdrive after. It's brutal.
That right there.
Yeah. It's not supposed to be nice. I mean, it's supposed to be tense.
It's not supposed to be pretty.
It's a struggling. These are just cellos. It's nasty. Okay. There's your bass.
Yeah. That's a old P bass through a Sans amp. And I think everything's set to 11 pretty much. And I'm playing chords.
So it's just a colossal bit of noise. All of those combined. Sounds like big, nasty brass. There's actually no brass there.
It's all cello and acoustic.
Joshua Auer played the perfect drum part.
I wanted an excuse to beat the crap out of the drums for a while. I should probably tell Dan this, but I did steal all of his drums and set them up and track them right here in the middle of the room.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. He won't listen to this. He'll never know.
Very, to me, an Explosions in the Sky kind of drum part, which I love. Thought it was perfect.
And there you have it.
Tossed in like a castaway. What we wanted, not what we thought we wanted. Tossed in, you couldn't see it coming. What we needed, not what we thought we needed. Don't give up. Don't give in. Watching, waiting patiently from where riches flow. My heart is sure to follow. Over here, you can see much clearer. What you wanted was always only what we needed. Won't give up, won't give in. everything we have and let the new begin. Won't give up, won't give in. Take everything we have and let the new begin. Take everything we have and let the new begin.
Thanks for listening. We have a lot more of these episodes coming soon, so make sure to hit subscribe and follow. You can always find the latest information on the podcast and all of our new releases at wearechapters.com.